Hi there, I'm Tony and welcome to this video where I'm going to be taking you through this ICT Wakisha Mocks paper 2 which is a practical paper. And without wasting time, let me dive into the instructions. The first instructions tell you as a learner that you are supposed to attempt these two questions that are found in this paper, and third instructions tells us that we have support files that are located on the desktop, and if I access my desktop I can see this folder here, Work Support Files, which is also indicated here. So if you read this name, you are supposed to look for this support files folder on the desktop, and other instructions help you after you have completed this paper. So without wasting time, let me go straight to item 1, which is a compulsory one. So Plastech is a small company located in Wakisha town. It deals in manufacturing and selling of plastic products like chairs, cups, plates, etc. The company employs sales agents to sell the company products door to door in the nearby towns. The company gives a basic pay to each sales agent depending on the academic qualifications and experience at the end of the month. So a list of sales agents and their basic pay is given in the support file staff data. So we are supposed to look for that support file called staff data, whether we have it. So you'll be opening your support files folder, and staff data is right here. Let me open it. So this is what they have been telling us: a list of employees and their basic pay is given the support files staff data. So if I go back to the question, it says, since they move door to door when selling these products, the company pays them allowances which are computed on basic pay. Let me highlight this: which are computed based on basic pay, and also makes deductions from their gross pay. Deductions from their gross pay basing on the rates shown in that. So gross pay of each sales agent is the summation of basic pay and the allowances, while net pay is a gross pay less deductions. So let me first open the second support file, which they told us that it is going to be fundamental for calculating the basic pay, the gross pay, and the allowances. So let me go and open it. Let me open my support files folder. I think it is still open, and open staff rates. So what you see here are the staff rates. So we are going to calculate allowances. We are going to calculate allowances, which is transport 8% of the basic pay, and lunch will be 10% of basic pay. Deductions, we are going to calculate deductions, which is NSSF of gross pay, and pay 6% of gross pay. So let me go back to Excel. So I'm going to calculate the allowances here, which is the first one will be transport, and the next one will be, let me check on my file, will be lunch, which is 10%. So I have to first include these fields, lunch, and then later we shall be calculating the gross pay, and here we shall be calculating gross pay. So let me first copy the formatting. Okay, so they have almost the same formatting. So I'll calculate transport. So here they told us that transport is 8% of basic pay. So I will write that expression, that formula in this cell. So I will say equals, open and close the brackets. Inside I write the expression of 8%, which is 8 out of 100. Then 8% of basic pay means multiplication, so I will use an asterisk and then click on the basic pay. So this is the expression. This whole formula is the expression. So I will press the enter button, and that will be transport, 8% of. So I'll drag this down to autocomplete, and then go to lunch, which is 10%. So I'll press the equals button and then write 10, open and close the brackets. Then inside I put the expression of 10%, 10 out of 100, and an asterisk to represent multiplication, and click on this cell. So I'll drag this down to autocomplete. Then that will be done. So I will go to gross pay. So gross pay will be, let us go back to our question. So it says allowances, and also makes deduction from their gross pay. So gross pay of each sales agent is the summation of basic pay and allowances. So we are going to add basic pay plus all allowances to get the gross pay. So I will put the equals button and then equals sign, click on the basic pay and include the plus sign, and then click on transport, the plus sign, and then lunch. So that would give us gross pay for that employee, maybe. Okay, so then let us go to the deductions. Now they told us after that is done, we should go to the deductions. And what did they tell us at the deductions? Deductions are made from their gross pay basing on the rates. Deductions are made from their gross pay basing on the rates. So we are going to base on these rates. So we'll go to this and see the rates. We have NSSF and pay, which are 6% and 5% of the gross pay. So if we get back here, we shall say NSF and then pay. Let me first put these in capital letters, all caps, NSF, and then pay. Okay, now they tell us that NSSF is 5%. So NSSF is 5%. That means I will write the 5% expression and then put an asterisk of gross pay, and then pay will be 6%. So I've put the equals button, equals sign, and then write the expression of 6%, which is 6 out of 100, and then put an asterisk, and then multiply that by the gross pay. Press the enter button and we'll be getting that. Let me see. Okay, yes, we are right. So after that, you drag this down, autocomplete for that, and this down. So everything will be calculated here. Now we have the net pay. Net pay, our next calculation. What did they tell us about net pay? We'll go back and read. Where net pay is the gross pay minus the deductions. So we are going to get net pay, we are going to get the gross pay minus these deductions. Then we shall be getting that exact salary that will be paid to these people. Okay. So our formula is going to be equals, we are going to get gross pay, which is E2 minus, so in the brackets we are going to express these, because we need all of these. That means we are going to add these two deductions, and there we shall be saying F2 plus, this is the plus button, plus G2, and then we shall have expressed our deductions, because they told us here that net pay is gross pay minus deductions, and according to what we have here, we have fully expressed it. Then we shall go ahead and press the enter button, and this will be our net pay. So from that, we are done with calculating all this. What we are left with is you do a little bit of customization. You bold the headings and make sure that your work looks good. So you try to format a little bit of formatting. Don't waste a lot of time on this. You have to know what type of formatting you can use for this. So make sure that the background, let me first format the background, and okay, let me give it a little bit of brown, and the font color is white enough. I don't know, I can give it black. Okay, and make this stand out a little bit. Make sure you don't waste time on this. So for whatever you do, you have to do it faster. So that's it. And the last thing you would want to do is to include all borders, because you may need your work to look good when printing. So it also shows someone who's more organized. So I'll click on this and then go to all borders here, so that all borders are included. Now after this, you'll save this worksheet. You go to file and then save as. Now we must save this work in our folder. So that means you have to create a folder on the desktop where you are going to save this work. On my desktop, I'll right click, then go to new and then folder, and give this folder a name. Let us assume it is Tony. This is the name of my folder. Okay, let me first rename. This is the name of my folder. Now I open it. It is empty, so I need to save the work here. If I go back to my Excel worksheet, that's how I will look for this. So I'll go to this PC, or my PC, or something like related to that, then look for the location, which is desktop, or browse, simply browse and go to the desktop location, and then look for your folder. My folder is Tony L, which is this one, Tony L, the one I've just created, and then create. Then after that, you'll give your you'll give your work a suitable name. Now this one is all about net pay. The absolute name we can give to this worksheet is net pay, because that's what we last calculated. It's all about salaries and net pay or something like that. So I can give it that name. Staff net pay. So I save it there. So if I open my folder, the work has been saved there, staff net pay. So I'll be going to part B. Now what does part B say? If I go back to this question, part B says, after analyzing data, the company sales were unsatisfactory. As a sales agent, make a report on how to overcome this issue in the next month. Now, there should not be any misconception about this report. You don't need to type a lot of things. You don't need to know a lot of entrepreneurship or whatever. What was more required here, you present a simple report but with a chart, because a chart is one of the fundamentals of a report, things that must be included there, the way you have collected your data and how you display your findings. So this is something like research. Okay, so what we are going to do here is that we are going to show how we organized this data, because you have to show that you made an analysis, and then remember you are supposed to present the findings to the team. So all of that must be presented on the report that you are going to show here. So what is the report about? We need to get the title, and the most appropriate program here to do this stuff is Microsoft Word, because some of you have done this in Microsoft Access, but the most appropriate program for typing this report will be Microsoft Word. So I will go ahead and open my Microsoft Word and launch new. Go to file, then new, blank document. So I will create a new blank document. Here is where I will type the title for my report. So how do we choose the suitable title? Is by going back to the question and reading it. So after analyzing the data, the company sales were unsatisfactory. So what is the report about? So the report about company sales, and what else? How to overcome this issue. So what is the issue being talked about here is the unsatisfactory sales. So I will write the title. I will say a report on company sales and how and solutions to the unsatisfactory issues. So for that, make sure that your title is well formatted, and then let us give it a little bit of bigger font, like font size 16, and then after you'll have to make sure you align the title very well. If make sure, let me try to, okay. So here what we need is to show what data you are, why you are making this report, and what data you are going to use. Now here what we shall do, we shall make an introduction as part of our report. So I'll make sure I give it a font size 12. font size 12. So I will say introduction. So the reason why, because now the reason why these company sales were unsatisfactory is that it's all routing from the employees' data, and there could be a reason why these employees, because the employees are the ones who go to the roads and sell these items on the roads and whatever, and if they are not working well, the sales will go low. I want you to understand this thing. The reason why I'm bringing this to employees is that because we do not have the data for the sales, like for example what is being sold, the plastics and whatever. But now we need to tell we need to write a report about the sales that we don't know, and we need here to give a reason. This requires very critical analysis. So introduction. After analyzing the sales data, I discovered that unsatisfactory. You don't need to think about something that is so complex to write this report. Use the same information that has been given to you in the scenario. So here you will be writing, and I found a connection between staff data and sales data. Full stop. Now you continue writing. What is the aim of this report? This report aims to address these concerns. What is it addressing? You go back to the question and read. Okay. How to overcome this issue. So that was the concern. This is the concern. So these concerns, full stop. So I forgot to include my names here. Prepared by Tony. So okay, I can underline this. So we need the data. The sales data. Staff. What data do we have here? It is called a staff net pay. Staff net pay. You underline that, even this. So you include a table, and where are we going to get that table? Is from Excel. So you highlight all of this table, you copy and paste in there. Microsoft Word. So this table is larger than the area. Okay, so let me try to reduce these. Now I want to tell this person that the reason why the sales are low is because even the employees are not being paid well. Maybe they have little salaries, maybe, we can give another reason that maybe these allowances, the transport and lunch they are given every day, they are so less and they may not sustain these people's lives. So that's one of the reasons that we can give for this. Okay, let me first organize my table, make sure that it fits very well so that when it is time for printing, some areas are not left out. Okay, so we have the data. So here we shall represent a chart, a bar graph showing staff. Do we have staff? Let me go back to the question. Sales agents and basic pay. So here we shall be having a chart. So a chart or a bar graph showing staff or sales agents and their net pay. So we can use this, or you can make a bar graph. It depends on what your report is about. Do you want to present a report about is your argument about lunch and transport, that the lunch is so little? Is your argument about the gross pay? Is your argument about the net pay? Give that reason why. So for my reason I'm presenting is about the net pay. So okay, so I'll make sure this one is in the center. Make sure all titles are in the center. So even here you have to present a title. For this table you can even add what we call captions. You go to table design or references and you insert captions. So I can click on the table, click on this object and then insert caption. So the caption will be table 1, a table showing sales agents and maybe I can say showing staff data. Okay, label table whatever. Okay, so this is the caption, and your bar graph we shall be assigning a caption to our bar graph. So I can maybe still right align this. Okay, go here and then we are going to place our chart here. Now to place this chart you have to go back to your Excel worksheet, and we need to generate a chart from this, from the staff data or staff names and the net pay. So I will highlight this and then hold the control key and also highlight that while still holding the control key, and then go to insert. We'll look for bar graphs. This one will be the most appropriate. Click on that and it will be generated here. So I'll insert a chart title because it is very important. Bar graph showing staff names or agent names maybe. So we shall be calculating this now. You have to, so you can Just continue typing our bar graph showing series or agent. You can say a bar graph showing agent names and their net pay. So title is important, but remember we need to include the legends here, all the axis labels, and in order to do that we go to quick layout and we choose a layout that is having all chart labels included. According to mine, this one is the most appropriate with all chart labels included, so I will click on it so that these pop up. After clicking on it, this will pop up. So I will include the chart title, the axis title here. What we have here is net pay, and what we have here is the agent names. So this is my chart. It is done, but we don't need it here. We need it in Word because that's where we have our report. So what I will do here is that I will cut this, Ctrl C. Now that is Ctrl X, and then paste it in Word. So I will open Word and paste it here. Don't worry, it will carry all its data. So this is our bar graph. So don't forget to add a caption. For every object you add a caption. So go to references and then insert a caption. Here we shall say this one is it's a chart, so we can look for figure and then say figure 1, a chart showing net pay for each series agent. Okay, so that's it. So captions are very important. Captions are very important for every object. Now here we come and present our findings. Here we shall say, put this in the center and then say it should be right aligned. After making all above data, I found out that sales agents get little allowances and net pay is so less to sustain their living. This will also affect their performance and hence leading to unsatisfactory service. Wisdom recommendations as a conclusion. Recommendations. So make sure your titles are well formatted. I can put this in the center So you give some few recommendations and increase on the sales agency salaries and what else? We have the allowances. We can't talk about the deductions because the deductions were too little, too less to influence that. Increase on the sales agents and salaries, sales agent salaries and allowances. 2. Increase on their motivation and dedication towards work. Okay. And give a little conclusion. Okay. The conclusion would be by implementing employee motivation techniques mentioned above, this will solve the problems in sales. So my report is done. So the key parts of this report that are so important are the charts. These 2 charts and the data, how you copy data from the other site or Excel and then bring it in Word. So this is the key components. Then you'll have to print this report also after making it. So you save that in your folder. Save as. Where's my folder? You go to browse and then the desktop. Remember my folder is having Tony L. Wait, desktop. Tony L. This one. So open and save it there. So all my work has been saved here, but remember at the end you have to print it. This is my report. This is staff net pay. Okay, then we'll go to item number 2. So I will close this and this. Okay, save. This one I also close it. So we have the question here. Now, item number 2 is Pichuares High School is a newly established secondary school located in a growing community. The school aims to increase student enrollment for the upcoming academic year. To stand out from other schools in the area, the school offers modern facilities such as fully equipped science laboratories, digital computer lab with internet access, a well-stocked library, spacious classrooms, sports ground, boarding facilities, and a school bus service. So, as a member of a school marketing committee, you have been tasked with designing an offline advertising strategy to promote the school. It is and its unique features within the local community. So using a support file, school data, design and produce an offline document that will clearly communicate to the community members about the school. So our aim is to communicate to the community members about the school. And for this case, I'm going to design a brochure, because a brochure is one of the things a community can send out to a school can send out to the community to communicate information about the school. And here I'm going to include the key aspects that were given to us in the question, these ones. I'm going to be including them there to communicate information about the school. So let me dive straight to Microsoft Publisher and then set up my brochure very well. So these are very large margins and I would like to reduce them. This is a blank A4 that is in a landscape mode. Here we shall be using landscape mode, but you can also use portrait. It depends on the way you want to portray your information. So here I will go to page design and then reduce the margins. I can make them narrow, or if you cannot reduce them from there, you can just go to custom margins, and then so this is the margin level. So I'll be placing guides, dividing my brochure into 3 like that. So maybe I can remove this. I can remove this and adjust this up. You drag it. Now here on the first one we can include the information about the school. So I can come here and say apply a background color before doing anything else. So here I'll be going to page design, and from there I will choose any background I need. So I'll go to background and go to more background colors or more backgrounds. Then I want to give a background color, so I will go and choose a solid fill and choose a color I want, which is red. Okay, so this is the one I've chosen. So here I will go on and press my tools for editing text. So on the first one I'll press the name of the school, and our name is PQRS High School. According to the question, it is PQRS High School. So I'll be doing that. Come here, insert, and then we insert a shape. This one I can make it black. Shape fill, I give it black. Then I look for okay. PQRS High School. Let me get a text box. Then we get a text box and type inside this. So I look for the text box, this one, PQR. Let me use caps. PQRS High School. Okay, now for this you center. I want to center this text. and then place it here. But our text is black and it won't appear, so you have to make sure you contrast it out and increase on its font size. I can give it 20, let me see. Okay, I can give it something like in a font Times New Roman and bold it. So this is our first section of the brochure. Okay, PQRS High School. So we are going to select the relevant images. To make this process faster, you get all these images and place them inside your publisher, and then you can delete the ones that you don't want. And the support file that was given to us for that was school data, this one. So this is where we have all the images. Control copy, CO, and Control C. So you paste it inside here. So we shall be first arranging. Okay, those are the pictures. So they told us this school has a lab, so we can place the one for the, let me first delete this guide. The school has a computer lab. Okay, so this section I can dedicate it for only computer labs. Computer lab, and place that there, maybe here. So for the library, I can dedicate this position for the library. This one I can dedicate it for the school itself. Make sure that you don't exceed or push this image to the margins. Or you can do so, but it depends on the purpose of your document. So this is the library. So we can include the science lab here. Maybe this one should be classrooms. We can put this up and add this here. Add that there. So we can also get the science lab, you include it here. Include that there. So I want to make a one-sided brochure. Okay, if that is there, then we can include the dormitories here. Okay, so after that, this space should not be left open. And include what about the lab. Okay, you can include also that here. Okay, so we have, okay, now we have a brochure here. So we have to edit, you have to include the text on images because we need to communicate to the public what we are trying to put here. So I delete these ones, these are the leftovers, maybe. I can also delete one, these are too many images. This one communicates the same. I can bring this here, the lab here, because all of these are these are labs. Okay, these are labs, and then place it here. Okay, this one here and this one here. So we'll go back to the question and we try to analyze it. We have to make sure that every service is included on this. So science laboratories and digital computer labs, so you have to make sure all of that text is there. So use a text box. And type computer lab, increase on the change the font color and the size to at least 14 and place it where it is supposed to be here. So it is not on only the computer lab, you also have a computer lab with the internet access. So digital computer lab with internet access. Like that. So here we shall be copying this, copy and paste. So this is what we are going to type something else here. What did they say about the lab? Fully equipped science laboratories. So fully equipped science lab. So make sure you align these well. Okay, now you'll go ahead and also copy that. Copy that and also paste there. What did they talk about the dormitories? We have boarding facilities, and here wait, boarding facilities. Here is use the same text. Laboratory, well-stocked library. Well-stocked library. That's R. Okay, try to pull this up a little bit. what else? Spacious classrooms, you can put it here. Spacious classrooms. Just try to give it some shape format. Okay, click on it. Spacious classrooms. What else? I think everything is done. We don't have pictures for these other services, so we shall be including them in text format. So here we shall say sports grounds, and we can include it here. So you copy this and paste, drag it here. You can use that for, you can give it white, maybe. White is also among our colors. Shape format, shape fill, give it white. We can remove this outline and then say we type some text there. So we shall be using this text box. We just copy, okay. Then we say sports ground, and what else? Sports ground and school bus service included. Okay, can give it some font. Can say maybe Times. Okay, and then since we have a white background, it won't appear, so you have to give it black. And bring it to the front. Okay, this is our brochure, and then after you save it, file, save as. So you have to give it a suitable name. So we browse and look for our folder on the desktop, which is Tony L, this one. So Tony L, we have to separate the other work of item 1 with item 2. So here we create a new folder, and say item 2. Item 2, and then open this. This is where we are going to save. We'll give it a name. We shall say we say PQRS High School brochure. Save. You have to separate this work from each other. So item 1, item 1, you create a new folder for item 1 and then place these there. So work for item 1 is there and work for item 2 is also there. So after that, you will print this work on an A4. Now print and then burn. That's what is required. Then after doing all this, you'll be assured that you have everything.